Today we're going to put it all together. 2 weeks ago we took standard form and graphed it, and while it wasn't overwhelmingly difficult, the thing you guys struggled with was that we needed to make a t-table and use that, and you struggled with making those points. Today we're going to use our knowledge of factoring to help us out. So our first step is still going to be to determine that axis of symmetry. And so if you recall, to determine that axis of symmetry, that's x equals the opposite of b over 2a, which in our case is the opposite of 4 over 2 times 1, which is negative 4 over 2, which means that x is negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and write down that x equals negative 2 for my axis of symmetry, because remember, we want to make sure that we write the full thing out. Step 2 then will be to determine that vertex, which, if you recall, means that we're going to take this x here and we're going to put it in. So we've got negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 minus 12. So we've got 4 minus 8 minus 12, which equals negative 4, so we got negative 16. So therefore my vertex is going to be negative 2, negative 16. Step 3 is going to be to solve that quadratic to get the zeros. This is where we're going to take our t-table, and we want our t-table to multiply to c, which in our case is negative 12, and add to b, which is 4. So I think here I know that 6 times negative 2 is negative 12, and 6 plus negative 2 is 4. So I know that that's going to be my quadratic. So I've got 0 equals x plus 6 times x minus 2. So I know that I need that either x plus 6 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0. I know that if x plus 6 equals 0, x equals negative 6. And if x minus 2 equals 0, x equals 2. This means that my zeros are negative 6, 0, and 2, 0. So now I've got 3 points. Step 4 is going to be to find that y-intercept, which, if you recall, that is when x equals 0. So if we take our original equation and we go 0 squared plus 4 times 0 minus 12, I get 0 plus 0, which is 0, minus 12, which is negative 12, which therefore makes my y-intercept 0, negative 12. So now I need to go ahead and do step 5, which is to plot and connect all these points that mirror the y-intercept to help us out. So first one we've got here, remember x equals negative 2. So I'm going to go in and sketch that in. And then my vertex is at negative 2, negative 16. So if I go down here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I know I need to go down 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, there's my vertex. And then if I scroll back up here, I have negative 6, 0, and 2, 0. So 2, 0, and negative 6, 0. And then I see that my y-intercept is at 0, negative 12, which is going to be here. And if I mirror that, that's going to be over here. And now I've got my 5 points without having to make a special t-table, and I can go ahead and make my parabola. Remember, what helps is if you turn your graph paper, your iPad sideways, it makes it easier to graph this. So let's go ahead and try another one. Now we've got 0 equals negative x squared minus 6x plus 16. Start off with the axis of symmetry. And so x equals the opposite of b, which is 6 over 2 times -1, which gives us 6 divided by -2, which is -3. So x equals -3. We can go ahead and sketch that in right away. And then we use that to find our vertex. So we have here that the negative of -3 squared minus 6 times -3 plus 16. So this is -9 plus 18 plus 16, which does give us a kind of high number of 25. So therefore our vertex is at -3, 25. I realize that this is high, so we're going to be up, we're going to count here. This goes up 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I realize that that's a lot of distance, but we'll have to make do. Then we're going to solve. So first thing we're going to do is factor out that negative, so then we have x squared plus 6x minus 16. Make our t-table. We need to multiply to -16. We need to add to 6. And I get here that this should be 8 times -2, because 8 plus -2 gives me 6. So I get here that 0 equals the negative of x plus 8 times x minus 2, which means that x plus 8 equals 0, or x minus 2 equals 0, which makes x equal to -8 or +2. So we have -8, 0, and 2, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and plot those. So we've got -8, 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 0. And then we look at the y-intercept. I'm going to put my y-intercept over here because I'm out of room. So then we've got the negative of 0 squared minus, I'm going to go back to the original equation, minus 6 times 0 plus 16, which means that y equals 16, so 0, 16. So we go here and we go up 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and that's 3 away, so we go 3 away on this side. It's here, and it's a big parabola in this case, but you get the idea.